Hi people, welcome back. Today is Wednesday the 24th of January 2024. We're here to give you more so now updates on I guess the Bibi and the Biden and Bibi pair and how things are going. And I have found out, and I've always said I humble quite easily, the better answer that I've been giving. First of all, I'll point out again, we told you we wear the mask, this one sometimes out in public. And they say, how can you wear a COVID mask? That's all so old. And I pull it down, they say, oh, we'll see. Well, guess what? After saying that for so long, I tested positive for COVID. I can't believe it. On Monday was this, Wednesday. But of course I had to correct the nurse. I said, you mean flu? No, COVID's not a flu. I said, no, COVID is SARS-2. Yeah, SARS-230. No, I just had a slight cold, which is very weird. Been 53 years since I've had any cold. You know, and it was only as a child, in the childhood years. But I read something by this guy Hubbard about why people get sick. I read it and I saw who it was, and I cut the ties with that person on that basis. Yeah, people will decide to sprain an ankle, get the flu, so they won't be a target for abuse anymore, you see? Yep. Or the other reason is, of course, we mentioned, because all beings are basically good, therefore they will disagree with their own occasional misconduct, whatever, and get sick or injured to stop the self from further harming others. And thus karma is a self-inflicted hit, a self-arranged stop to stop the self from harming others. And then you might say, as I do, well, look at so-and-so over there. He's still going on and doing wrongs. And, right, this is called an ethics blind spot. Ethics blind spot and false environment until somebody gets them to look and be reminded of what they're doing. And then, unfortunately, I like what Hubbard says. It's sad, but he says, unfortunately, we're always our own worst executioner, far worse than anyone else would have us. Yeah. Anyway, but we'll get to the point we're approaching now. This thing that I mentioned was humbling. I didn't understand this, but the ways to help I mentioned, and I got several of them from Hubbard, as his studies evolved over half a century, but mostly done in the first 33 or 38 years. He evolved one breakthrough after another, so it wasn't all done at the start. And he said the key is to salvage, not punish. Why would you destroy something you could fix? All these beings are that way. So I sometimes, like other normal, ordinary, or human people, get very upset and outraged, as one should, at some of the wrongs going on. Oh yes. But the key is to get them, those doing wrong, that make a decision. We the self make a decision, declare about something. A postulate, from the word post, meaning to put there. To post something, verb is to postulate, or I should say to postulate something is to post, declare, about, for, or toward that something will occur. Beings create by postulates. Yeah. The thought that the declare is senior. You know, beings create things. Things don't create beings. Ooh, nice to hear that again, or to be able to find that out again, because we've all become lost. We don't realize we're obeying layers of life that are buried from whenever. I like this important commentary I got from Hubbard. He says, well, whether you like it or not, you can't die. You just grab it up another body. So it is one long life with different bodies, I guess, as we go through it. I mean, it's available as your own truth, so nobody can take that away from you. Only you know how your day went today, and you do know all the days. Anyway, so the good news is we intend something. Go, oh, we don't like what people are doing. Some of them, no. Some more, some less, some this or that. Come on, it's in the news. It's real. You're right. Wrongs are wrongs. Come on. But I didn't know this. I stand really corrected for telling prior things as they were still evolving into better ways. I stand corrected. I really do stand corrected. I hate that. I hate standing corrected. No, I'm joking. I don't like um, doing it the wrong way. Unrealized, but I'm still responsible. You know, we've all given many talks, and they've been so correct, you knew they were right, and then, whoops, should one or two not be right? We didn't know it, but we gave the talks. We got in that position. The thing to do is, I declare that so-and-so will be doing better. Biden, Bibi, Trump, okay? No, I get them to also declare, to postulate. Yeah. It's in this reference I found by Hubbard. I really like it. It's just amazing. I'll see if I can dig it up here. Okay, I found the reference to the lecture series by Hubbard called the Philadelphia Doctorate Course Lectures from the 50s, 52 and 53. Let me tell you something. That's an understatement to call it the doctorate series. First of all, what's the definition of doctor? Docere, D-O-C-E-R-E means, first preferred definition, a learned person, okay? One who teaches. One who's learned a lot, and one who teaches. Second down, PhDs, and then third down, the medical group that hijacked and to denounce others. But anyway, it means docere means a learned person. That's what a doctor means. And you will feel a bit learned when you study the stuff that he has put through. Wow, it's amazing. Here's a chapter. The title of the chapter is Agree and Disagree, Have and Not Have. For you to find out what's inside that, wow, discover it, didn't make it up, and gifted it. Check it out. He talks about at the lower levels of operating that we have done for so long, one doesn't get agreement. This disagreeing and fighting people and so forth doesn't really resolve. No, it makes things more solid and worsen. But to go way back up and get people to co-agree with you is really interesting. Yeah. It's in this chapter. I'll let you read it yourself. So that's today's message. Doesn't sound like much. Let me tell you something. For those of you who have heard some of these talks, and I've given quite a few, over 150, be it the YouTube channel upload or radio and TV or the public groups, I stand fully, humbly. I enjoy being humble. Oh, it's good news. Amazed. Completely humbled and amazed to find that I didn't have the latest evolved. Not you think, well, why are we going by this guy and what he evolved? Well, check it out, find out. Not be told or asked to believe, find out. His basis is the knowingness, not being told or asked to believe. Like Scientology, Skio, by the way, Skio, S-C-I-O means, like in science, it means knowing. No, it means knowing in the fullest sense. So Skio means knowing, and then ology, study of knowingness, knowing how to know things, not being told or asked to believe. Nothing wrong with beliefs at all, but knowing is a much higher octave. And the enemy combatant, you might know, psychiatry, they were recently revealed. It was Tucker Carlson revealed in a major broadcast. He said, you know what? Gosh, the major medical groups have just come forth just recently and admitted that psychiatry never knew what chemical imbalance of this or that was. No, the brain, no. They just use it to sell stuff. And he said, psychiatry last year wrote 220-some million prescriptions for 330 million people. Some are multiple, even worse. And so he's part of this whistleblowing. Scientology was one of the earlier whistleblowers of Big Pharma on that area. One out of every 4 to 5 people that you know may know are on psychiatric drugs. Yeah. And those are realized as a chemical lobotomy, incarceration, and even assassination. Yeah, they really are. You know, all these mass shooters to date so far were on or dying trying to get off of psych drugs. You see? See the picture of the shooter? Oh, that's not the shooter. No, it's called the guy in the background, the drug dealer in white coat. Seldom ever caught. If caught, we were trying to help him, but he needs more. You see, and so does his family. More psychiatry and drugs. Yeah, the catch is the mass shooters defined as 4 people or more killed not counting the shooter. And just last year, in the first 2 months, we had 1,500 new cases of mass shooters, you see? But they weren't in the news much with all this other stuff going on. The catch is people that aren't mass shooters, like the suicides, people driven to suicide, or the murder-suicide. That's a couple. They don't qualify as a mass shooter. All those don't realize how many. No, hundreds of thousands of people kill themselves because of these drugs. The intention to lose hope. So that's it. Tucker mentioned how even back in '05, Tom Cruise, this recently, he said Tom Cruise was sort of a whistleblower when he spoke up on Matt Lauer's show and made it clear these harm people, you see. And after that talk, I don't know how many lives he saved, but suddenly the pharmacy makers of that were forced to put a warning on the jar. Caution, do not try and come off these drugs all at once. It can or will cause seizures. Read it, something like that. Gosh, oh, they would? Gee, that's good. They're really hooked. So anyway, so that's that. But back to this, I'm happy to see that Tom, and by the way, back to the mass shooting, it doesn't mean that all people will become one. No, that isn't the point. Hundreds of thousands of suicides. But back to this Bibi. I've always told you I'm such a big fan of Bibi's. I am declared the world's #1 fan. No, none of the stuff Donald Trump's or not ours, certainly, when I mess up the marriage. How does that compare? I always tell you, how's my marriage messed up? My violating the wife compared to these others? Oh, ask her. It's her whole life. It's gone. She doesn't even care about voting anymore, being a Girl Scout mom, cooking, cleaning, sewing, shopping, kids, taking the kids to school or to medical. No, her life is gone. She counted me and I have. That's what it is. And people we elect have a marriage with us. It's the same thing. It's just more of us than the wife with me, but it's the same thing. Yeah. So, but I'm a big fan of Bibi's, not because I need to be or am afraid. No, I'm afraid of nothing. I just see him as quite a leader. I don't have the data on Bibi, I keep telling you, that I have on Biden, for example, and Trump. We've talked about things that they have done so well. I mean, Biden, this current thing he's doing that isn't so well, but you know, the billions going to this thing, this now exposed as a gimmick over Hamas, you know, the terrorist group. Palestinians have a terrorist group. Hamas is a terrorist group. We've given you the talk on that. No, that's all been proven a lie. They're not after any Hamas or after Gaza. But the fact is, Biden, although he's doing that, and not to slight it, as although he's doing that, he did something no one has ever done since Reagan and Gorbachev. Biden unoccupied you. He got us out of Afghanistan. Well, that ain't a big factor. Early on in his presidency, he just said, that's it. God, after 20 years and $2 trillion of our money and millions murdered, he got us out. And as we said, his own people jumped ugly on him, as well as the Fox News, Hannity, and that bunch. They all meant well. They have their reasons. But it's wrong. But Biden, they said, oh, Biden's got blood on his hands now. He lifted, airlifted, equivalent to a town, 120,000 people in 2 weeks out of there. So they said, oh, Biden's got blood on his hands now, his own people on the Fox News, right? So that we won't have more. Only Reagan and Gorbachev before that. From the early days of Eisenhower, then Kennedy, and all those, and up until now, no one except Biden, except Reagan and Gorbachev have ever done anything like this. No one. That's Biden. I call it doing the Joe, doing the Biden. Yeah. Reagan and Gorbachev got together. Remember the soundbite? The famous soundbite. You can Google it. Reagan says, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, separating East and West Berlin. So it's the only thing you had to tell him. And all the people suddenly started chipping away with their crowbars, hammers, pliers, ice picks, toothpicks, you name it. And they got souvenirs holding them up, and all of a sudden they looked at each other. The opposing sides looked at each other and said, what? They aren't bad people. And they started having a good time. Right. Interesting. And from that, then Gorbachev, no, he didn't become no, he couldn't become a good guy. You can't. He already was. Reagan inspired him to be Gorby again. And Gorbachev dismantled the entire Soviet Union, the collection of captured countries that were placed under communism long before he was there. Undid the whole thing. Gave each one, here, you take your country back, you run it your way, we'll help you. It's not forced on communism anymore. Forced beneath. No, nothing. They call it perestroika or glasnost. The two words back then, perestroika or glasnost, one of them means that, I guess. Check it out. Reagan didn't make him anything. He inspired him, reminded him to be him again. He did it. All that's left is Russia. Trump would put a Russia, China, yeah. Huge. Just Russia. But then we dumbly, and Trump's pointed it out, Tucker pointed it out, we went and informed NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This is how troubles began, right? Meaning we're telling those other countries that border Russia to put their arms in Russia's door when there's no more Cold War. It's crazy. And that's what Russia's revolting against now, that Ukraine wants to do more of that. And so they're feeling Russia's response, not Ukraine's taking 140 billion of our money, as Laura Ingraham put it. They hollowed out our treasury, that guy there did, and use it to extort that Russia will attack the U.S. because Russia will attack the U.S. because we, the U.S., are paying the Ukraine attack on Russia. See, get it? Yeah. As Tulsi Gabbard said, she was invited on that show, on Tucker Carlson's show. And Tucker says, hey, Tulsi, how's it feel to be blacklisted by Ukraine? And she says in a 48-second spot, what? Ukraine's not a democracy. That little guy without the shirt, right? The minute he got elected, threw in prison his opponent and the top 10 people with the opponent, who aren't violent types, they aren't evil types now. And then shut down all the media so that you would know that he's doing the following. And then as Laura jumps in, yes, Laura Ingraham jumps in and said, yeah, he hollowed out our treasury for 140 billion, right? And only filmed the Russian response to his antagonizing Russia. Well, my thing is this, I was wrong. I just told you the wrong thing. I told you facts, but I told you the wrong thing. That guy, no matter who he is and how wrong, they just pointed out he was being, they're right, and you're right. Yeah. And the Bibi thing over there in Gaza with Biden paying it. Those are wrongs, those are facts, but I'm wrong. I'm happy to be humbled. I'm saying it because I've been telling you a lot of things, and I've been wrong, way wrong on the solution. I was reading in the Evolve of the different ones. Thank God that Hubbard came up with them. I wouldn't care if Johnny Appleseed came up with them. It doesn't matter to me. I'm so grateful that there are some. I'm grateful. Solutions, yeah. So gosh, people, there you go. You decide, you declare, that's a postulate, supposed to put there, you know, a posting, a postulate. To postulate is a verb, is to post, or declare that something will occur. That's how you and I create. We forget that. We forget that, yeah. A crazy example is, have you ever thought of someone and the telephone rang? Yeah. Oh, don't blame me if you said, yeah, no, you did that, right? You as a being, a not thing, got another not thing, another being, to cause a thing, a body, his body, to cause that thing, a phone, to call a phone, you know. So a lot of words, right? Oh, God, that's, where are we going, right? That's how life is. You create by postulating. We forget we do that. Oh, don't give up bodies. My God, they're lasting longer, you know? No, as Hubbard said, whether you like it or not, he observed, shared it. You can't die just grabbing another body. So why not get rid of the layers of life that we aren't aware of? The happy and the unhappy things, those we're aware of, they have their merits. But it's the things we're not aware of that pull us down. These other guys currently are the ones goofing up more than you and I. But maybe not more than we might have way back on the whole track. I like Hubbard saying, if I'm an expert on the wrongs of these other people, and I'm accurate, right? Believe me, he says, I've done them tens of thousands of times myself on the whole track at different times. Can we use the term different lives? It's one long life with different bodies and identifications, yeah. So I was wrong in the solutions, yeah. No, better said, I was wrong in talking about them with good, well-meaning intentions. No, rather than the solution, just declare. They'll do better. Like think of someone on the phone rings. That's an example. It's for real. It's amazing. Yeah, don't tell anybody. By the way, don't ever try to grab a big chunk of these discoveries by Hubbard. Just grab a little bit. The whole thing is, it enables you. It's all you have to find out things that you already knew. Yeah. It's only a church, by the way, just so you know, by the oldest and truest definition, going way back, where it addresses you as a being, spirit, or soul, rather than a lab animal. You see. So, go with it. Just read the reference. I gave it to you in the Philadelphia doctorate tapes. We were efforting at lower levels. We're the same good person. You can go back up, not up, back up to where you used to be. Yeah. You can't become good or able. No, you return to being that minus layers of life. But you can, just from a little training and a little bit of reading his stuff, you can actually get rolling again before the counseling that permanently removes life's layers. Yeah, it's really neat. So guys, kind of enjoy, will you? Yeah, you can enjoy all of this. Just declare as you did it, just as a light thought, that when you thought of something, the phone rang, the key was light. He says, make it light, the effort light, like non-existent, and the thought big. You know, the goal, the what will occur, big. Make it light. Don't have the veins on your neck sticking out. He said, no, make it so light, just a thought. Thought is boss. We create by thinking. And being creates by postulating. A thought, a think. Thought precedes. Thought is boss. Get copies of it. Call the center. A lot of it's free online. Before they had the internet, you had to go buy it. No, a lot of it's free online. Yeah. They're a non-profit. Surprise. So, just decide. Maybe, you know, I just happen to like him. That's a long, dumb, personal story. I always want the bigger beings, the more able ones, though doing wrongs, maybe Trump and Biden, of those, you know, in the public. They're the ones you want in charge because they'll do something about it. Like Hubbard says, always help the able to become more able because they'll do something about it. So I declare, Bibi would join me, declaring he will do well. It's like you thought of something on the phone ring. It's that simple. It's simpler than even verbal, physically, verbally telling. It's simpler. When you thought of something, where you've been talking verbally with your body. No, it's lighter. Yeah, you do it all the time. You just don't realize it. Versus if you say, "Oh, Joe's going to call now." No, that's dropping an effort down, an octave down to effort. He might, but not necessarily. But if you're just thinking, Joe, thought lightly, you forget that you've been doing this because it's so light compared to the kind of forced effort world we're stuck in. That you can, by the way, go from slight gentle cause, from being effective in this world to slight gentle cause. Take it easy. So anyway, just think, join now. I know, I happen to know, but he's gonna pivot, if he will. And the key is, of course, if he does that free course on PVI, Personal Values and Integrity course. A little bird told me Trump is, where you get rid of the junk. It's part of the layers of life. It's one of the 4 types. You know, my own misdeeds. See, there are 4 parts to the layers of life. We have in counseling, they're called processes. Flows. Flow 1, in getting a counseling process. Flow 1, they can ask anything someone did to me. Oh yeah, I get rid of that. Then unburdening. Then I come up to level. Oh, is there anything I might have done to another or others? No. Oh yeah, here, boom. And then, because that can hurt me, feel bad. Flow 3 is seeing others hurt others, like a war or a fight. That can make me feel bad. And then the 4th flow is things I've done to the self. First flow is others to the self. Those are with a lot of research, the 4 components of the layers of life. So the flow 2 is not the only thing. No. And often, typically, wrongs weren't done because one was evil, Hubbard reminded us. No. Typically done to solve a problem. It was wrong. We're stuck. We're stranded on an island. We might borrow another's food, leave a note saying, I had to borrow some, but I'll pay you back. You see? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there. So I'm saying Bibi will do well, but I'm cheating. It's easier and fully capable if you do the program of getting rid of forever things that took forever to load up on you. Again, without, you can think of someone and they call, that's getting them to call. Yes, I got that. But in someone intending, declaring, postulating, I'll have a better marriage with a wife, I'll return to what was, right? I'd have to do the little process of, in private, writing, doing it at home, write down as if you're telling it to someone that you trust. I did this or I did that. Leave out names, just put initials. And it's magic, because Hubbard talks about this guy. He was really being hammered by his wife, what you and I would know before the Karen thing came out. I mean, really hammered. Awful, right? Put her aside. We handled this guy. He tells what he's done to the wife. Suddenly she stops. But we didn't handle her. Yeah, it works. When I get rid of something, there's a process of how to do it. I write down, tell it to a counselor if you want to, but write down exactly what I did. And then the time, place, form, and event. Tell precisely, and it will go away. It releases for me, I feel better, like a Catholic confession. Hey, do you feel better? It's an unburdening of the soul. Tremendous. But they don't do it completely. They'll turn it over to God or somebody or a tree or whatever their thing is. I don't know, somebody. Rather than I go handle it. So I do time, place, form, and event. Time when it was, place where it was, form what it was, and event, the result, who nearly found out. Add that question. By telling it exactly, you can look it up slowly. They have a copy of the Personal Values and Integrity, of course, free online. But when you get rid of something that you've done, precisely get rid of it, it releases. It's gone for you. No, it's also gone for the other person. Fact. Fact. Check it out. So, Bibi, do as Trump's going to do. Do the course. Yep. It's in private. No one will know. And you'll laugh. You'll be on the floor. And Bibi, you guys, you and I are going to get Bibi to do it. He'll be on the floor in pain laughing. He can go to a Scientology center right there in Tel Aviv. Yeah, they're safe. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll be back. Watch. It's happening. Whatever we told you. Bibi's going to. And then he'll have to do the condition, like liability, where he hurt people, make up the damage. He'll do that. All of Israel, I see it. Everyone there will suddenly be helping every single person in Palestine, yeah, and apologize for the deaths. Hey, come on. I mean, histories have these tragedies before, but not necessarily where the U.S. was involved in the funding of it. No, that's why it makes it more of a heartfelt thing here. But see, when a person, Hubbard says, when a person comes up to the level, flow 2, where they can tell their wrongs to others, they don't know if you've done them, only you know. And it's at that point, he says, where the person has made it on the bridge to total freedom. The bridge to total freedom, returning to freedom, yep. So that's it, guys. By doing it the way I said, maybe he's going to do it. I think Trump will contact him about that, a little bird told me. I mean, Bibi, of the note of the Bibi, Trump, Biden, us. We've all had our times where we did things not so good, some more, some less, some this or that, yeah. But they're gone, they're erased permanently when you do the format with a PVI course, Personal Values and Integrity course. It's fantastic, guys. Good luck with all this. Again, Bibi will be doing, you can join now in co-intent, co-postulate, co-declare, co-think it. Yeah, it'll happen. You've done it more times than you realize. And you don't recall them because when it worked just like that with a thought, it was so light you didn't realize you're doing it, like thinking of someone and the phone rang. You've done some at a lower octave level effort. Well, gee this, well, gee that. Yeah. Now, people go from disobeying us at a lower level to agree, when we get them to co-agree with something. We'll be back. Watch for it.